presentation. We first want to say thank you to Weber State University for this possibility to take part of the case study competition. But now we want to introduce ourselves. We are Team Eagle Point and my name is Nadia.
I'm Victoria. My name is Katja.
I'm Lucas.
If you have any questions, don't hesitate, and we are open to answer them at the end of our presentation. First of all, we have the agenda. Here you can see we are in the introduction right now. We will start with the mission. After the mission, we will mention the SWOT and the program. After that, the thanks strategy is mentioned. Last but not least, the total cost of ownership and the recommendations are mentioned. So, we are Autoliv, and our mission is to save more lives. That is why we need a good relationship to all our customers. Our biggest customer is Nissan. Nissan is an emerging company and developed to the third car company in sales, and we want to be present in all their cars. That's why a good relationship and collaboration is necessary with them. The thanks strategy from Nissan is very important for us. They invited us to rethink the way we do the things. The goal of the thanks strategy is to eliminate waste and to improve continuously. Due to the meeting next week with the Nissan coordinators, we rethink of the strategy of our fulfillment strategy.
Yeah, we first started to analyze our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Our biggest strength is that we are an innovative company. We have a big research and development, department, and we are one of the best manufacturers and have a highly developed lean management. We also ship fully optimized loads to our cross-docking centers, so they're nearly always full truckloads, so we have low transportation costs. The relationships to leading OEMs are also very important to us, and we have a lot of them. Our weaknesses are that we have to shut down production lines if there are any defects occur, although it is not likely because we have a defect rate of only 2.3 parts per million. It can still happen. And we have high labor costs here in Utah. The packaging is also a weakness for us because it's really hard to pack high explosive things to ship them all across the country. Our opportunities are that there is a growth in the auto market. The light vehicle production is rising every time, and safety components per vehicle are now way more than 5 years ago. We have a lot of future development projects with our customers to create better relationships. Our threats are that we have zero defect strategy. It means we only have one shot and our product has to function when it has its one shot. If it doesn't, we are out of business. Then we are highly dependent on the automotive industry. That means we are just serving the automotive industry, and if there are any regulations changed regarding safety or anything, then we could struggle. The other threat, and the last threat for us, is the weather. As our cross-docking center is nearly all across the country, we have to drive through Wyoming, and the weather conditions in winter are not really good there. So, let's come to Nissan. Nissan, as we said before, is our biggest customer. There we also developed SWOT analysis. The strength of this Nissan are that Nissan is a leading player in the global auto industry. Also, they're an innovative company regarding process optimization, research and development, and supply development. They also introduced the thanks. but we come to that later. The weaknesses are that they are highly dependent on their suppliers. If there are any defects, anything wrong, they have to deal with it, and that's their problem there. The opportunities are that there are new technologies, markets, and models every time. So there are always new opportunities. Nearly every 6 weeks to develop any new model or any new technology. Then another opportunity of Nissan is Caretto. Caretto is a model for good relationships, for familiar relationships which is built on trust. And they want to have the opportunity to get good relationships. Another opportunity is that they want to save costs. Of course, everybody wants to save costs. They already saved a lot of costs, but there's always room for more. The threats are that they have a lot of competitors and they're just waiting for their strike. And yeah, the last point is that the supply disruption can lead to a whole shutdown of the assembly line, and we all know that these are a lot of costs. But how can we now support Nissan and come together to build a good relationship? First of all, we are innovative and have lean management. So we can, if we continuously improve our processes and our products, we help them to be not that highly dependent on their suppliers, because then we have the good products, and we do not strive supply disruptions. The other thing is that we are innovative and have the best products and get better with our processes and are then striving for cost savings. Then the last thing that we go together is that we have good relationships to our leading OEMs, and they want to have good relationships to their OEMs, so we both work together that this can function. We both have focus on lean management, we both want to have good relationships, and we both have common research and development. But what is now the problem with our relationship? Nissan thinks that our order fulfillment costs are too high. But how can we solve it? We want to implement a direct supplier strategy for the 2 Nissan plants. And we want to operate this direct supplier strategy to be a good, have good service and to provide good service to them.
Well, as already mentioned, Nissan has the THANKS method. THANKS stands for Trust, Harmonious, Nissan Kaizen Activity with Suppliers. So we decided to use this method to promote and to convince Nissan that our new supply strategy is the best option for both of us. So first of all, we want to earn Nissan's trust. When we analyzed the numbers, we realized that for some products, our gross margin for the transport is negative. So we pay more on transporting and handling the products in the cross-docking center than we get back from Nissan. So for example, for the driver airbags, and also for some curtain airbags, we pay more than we get back. So if we show this on these numbers, we aim to get their trust because they will realize that we are not earning money with the transport system as it is now. But still, since the numbers are negative, we will also show them that we need to restructure the supply system because we don't want to pay extra, because for us, this is not a benefit. The second thing is harmonious or harmony. If our new direct supply to the 2 Nissan plants should work, we need to get reliable forecasts from the 2 different Nissan plants. So we need to improve our information flow and our communication with them. So we need a good collaboration. And by the good information flow and the working collaboration, we will have harmony between us and Nissan. The last point of the thanks is the Kaizen activity with suppliers. So we want to improve our process now, our fulfillment process, by implementing a direct supply to the 2 Nissan plants. And my colleague will now explain in more detail how this will look like.
Okay, so right here you can see the essence process. So this is the order fulfillment process as it looks like right now. So everything starts here at the manufacturing plant in Boxburg, where the airbags are produced, and then they're shipped by trucks to our cross-docking center in Autoliv branch, which is the one right here. And this is done by 910 trucks approximately in 2018, which is the forecast. And after that, the finished airbags are stored in the cross-docking center for hours or days, that's not quite sure, and until Nissan takes it up. And then Nissan brings them to their two manufacturing plants up in Smyrna and Panama. And the total cost of this process is about $6 million a year, and it's split up in transportation costs and handling costs, as you can see on the right side. Transportation costs are about $4.5 million and are calculated by freight cost times the volume. Our handling costs are calculated by the NPS cost. These are the costs within the cross-docking center times the volume. So as you can see, the handling costs are really high. They are like about a quarter of the total costs, and that's why we assumed that implementing a direct supply process is much better. Right here you can see our new process as it should look like. This is like a direct supply process. So everything starts at the manufacturing plant in Rotterdam again, but then the finished products are delivered directly to the two Nissan manufacturing plants in Smyrna and Canton. And as you can see, the transportation costs are really much the same as it was before, because the distance to the manufacturing plants is almost the same. But the main advantage of the strategy is that the handling costs are much lower. As you can see, it's just about $200,000, and before it was over $1 million. This is due to the fact that the goods has to be handled just one time, and before it was about 4 times at the cross-docking center. So these are our calculations. We assume that 1 mile, the transportation cost of 1 mile is $1.6. And this is times 1.642 and 0.2. So these are the transportation costs and the total miles are 1,642. The handling costs are $6.6 because these are the costs for one handling operation within the cross-docking center. And this is times the cubes, because every cube is handled once. So the main advantage, as already mentioned, is that on the one hand, Autoliv saves the handling costs, so we are saving our handling costs, and this one saves the costs for picking up their finished goods at the cross-docking center and Autoliv branch.
All in all, there are savings for $875,000 US. This means these are saving for 15%. Additionally to this, there is more space in the cross-docking for the future contract partners, and additionally to this, there is space in Ogden for the future operation processes, thanks to warehouse on wheels. My friend will explain it later to you.
Okay. Right now we're just talking about the transportation costs, but we also have to consider other kinds of costs, and that's why we apply the total cost of ownership method. First of all, there are transportation costs, as already mentioned, they will decrease. Then there are the pipeline inventory costs. These are the capital costs for the goods which are in transit. So right now the goods are in transit for about 4 to 5 days, depends on the cross-docking, how long they will remain in the cross-docking center. And after that, the time of delivery is just about 2 days, as they're directly going to the Nissan plants, and that's why our pipeline inventory costs decrease. Regarding the insurance costs, we thought about that it's pretty much the same because the distance, like the delivery distance, is pretty much the same as I mentioned before. The handling failure costs, these are the costs which occur due to handling failures within the cross-docking center. So right now we just have to handle the goods once. Before it was 4 times, so the probability of failures is low. And that's why the handling failure costs decrease as well. And last but not least, there are the safety stocks costs. These are the only costs which increase, and our assumption is that, or we think that it's necessary for Nissan to keep a safety stock at the manufacturing plants in order to be able to cover losses, for example, if the truck is not able to reach the manufacturing plants. But I will come to that later on. So all in all, the total costs will decrease, and that's pretty good as our ROCE, our return on capital employed, will decrease. On the one hand, our EBIT, our earnings before interest and taxes, will increase as the cost is going down. And on the other hand, the capital employed pretty much remains the same, because on the one hand, the working capital decreases as our pipeline management costs decrease. But on the other hand, our working capital increases as our safety stock costs increase as well. So far I was just talking about the benefits, but unfortunately there are also kind of requirements to be able to implement that direct supply process. So first of all, Autoliv, so we are highly dependent on the reliable forecast of Nissan. So this forecast has to be, on one hand it has to be detailed enough, but on the other hand it has to be reliable, because we have to trust it. It's necessary that we are able to trust figures. And another requirement is efficient communication. So especially in case of deviations from the forecast, for example, if there are short-term changes, and this has to be communicated as soon as possible. As my colleague already mentioned, we also have to think about warehouse complete strategy. This means that the finished goods are delivered directly to the truck trailer, and the truck trailer has to be there. And this is also, on the one hand, it's like a little bit difficult to plan, but on the other hand, we can also benefit from it as less space is required in our manufacturing plant. So, and last but not least, as already mentioned, the safety stock. At Nissan plants, this is necessary because to be able to cover losses, for example, if the trucks are not able to reach the manufacturing plants. And we calculated a probability of loss of about 0.16%. So we just calculated that there are 4 or 5 trucks which are not able to reach the Nissan plants, and in total it's about 1,200 trucks. So the probability is about 0.16%. So it's quite low. So the safety stocks doesn't have to be that high. And now my colleague is continuing with the recommendations.
Well, our recommendations for us, for Autoliv, are that we start to implement the direct supply as soon as possible, so we can benefit from the cost savings and from the additional space in our warehouse as soon as possible. Additionally, we suggest that we, as Autoliv, organize the transports, because we already organize them now, we have the capacity, and we want to provide this service to Nissan, because Nissan until now never said that they want to do the transport, or that they want to organize the transport. The last recommendation is that we will continue on our continuous improvement strategy. So we will, in the future, also improve our communication, not only with Nissan, but also with other customers. And we will continue by improving innovative products and still have low costs, so all our operations are efficient.
And at the end of our presentations, we do not only say thank you, we really mean it, because we lower transportation costs, because we made a direct delivery, we got rid of the handling, because, we get rid of the cross-docking center for this transportation. We designed a new material flow, which made us be more cost-effective and also better for Nissan, because they get their full truck loads directly to their assembly centers. We improved Caretto because we made a collaboration. And all in all, and maybe the best for Autoliv, we created space in the cross-docking centers because our new customers are waiting in Alabama, and so we have space for them. Thanks.
All right. Well, thanks, you guys. Okay, question time, right? So, thank you for the presentation. That was a pretty good presentation there. And so, I guess I've kind of like 3 different questions, I guess, in no particular order. How do you calculate the, you said 0.16% safety stock? Maybe just elaborate on how you guys calculate 0.16.
That's like last year, so it was stated in the case that last year there was about 4 or 5 trucks now able to reach destination. And the total trucks was about 2,000,
right?
Yeah, something like that. And so we divided them. We divided the 4 trucks by...
We divided 2 trucks because we have 2 distribution centers. And to the 2 distribution centers, only 4 or 5 trucks did not reach. So we used an average of 2. So 2 trucks out of 1,200 did not get to the destination.
Gotcha.
So we got 0.16%.
So with that, you guys calculate, or what's your guys' thought process? does Nissan have to hold more inventory with this new fulfillment, this new direct fulfillment? Did you guys calculate how much more inventory, if any, Nissan would have to carry?
Assume that they will have to have 2 truckloads of airbags, more safety stock, because the distance is longer, so we need 2 days to go there if one truck does not get to the final destination.
Okay.
Before it was from the cross dock, it was really close, so if there was a supply disruption, they could get something more easily. Now we assume that they need 2 truckloads of safety stock.
Okay, gotcha. And the cost for that, did you guys calculate in the additional packaging and cost? Was that part of the cost analysis with this or not?
Actually, it wasn't. We just calculated the number of 0.60.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
The total, because we didn't know what an airbag cost. So
Okay.
we didn't know the cost for all this.
I gotcha. Okay. What do you guys ask? Questions?
You said you wanted to implement the direct supply as soon as possible. I was just wondering, what would you plan to do with the olive branch crossdock for the remaining 4 years that it has on the lease?
Plant that the case also said that in Alabama there will be a new plant of, I think it was Mazda, I don't know, within the next few years. So we said that the free space in the olive branch can be used for the supply of the new Alabama plant. And we also said that our other customers who are also supplied from olive branch, like Kia, they will also grow in the future, and we assume that we will sell more to them as well, so the additional space can be used to supply these customers.
I'm just curious to see the breakout you had on the transportation cost, but on your last slide you had that Autoliv would be responsible. So were you saying that Autoliv would actually incur the freight costs, would change, but Autoliv would incur the freight costs and Nissan would not? Is that what your proposal was?
Because we already had the cost before. Those were 1,500 miles, and it's not farther. And we saved the handling costs here. So it's just better for us.
And it's kind of a service if we can provide the transportation as well.
Okay.
We can also tell this and to pick it up, but we want to have them as our customer, and we want to be a service provider as well, have a good relationship, and that's why we decided to ship it to them directly.
Gotcha. So in this new direct fulfillment option, what was the frequency of delivery you guys maybe calculated to each Nissan plant? Did you guys make any assumptions there, or was it daily, once every other day?
Yes, we calculated that out of the 1,200 trucks that go to the crossdock at the moment, 900 were for the 2 plants for direct supply. So we said that about 2 trucks go to each Nissan plant every day.
Okay.
And it was this calculation right here. That was the volume of 2018 divided by the cubes per truck divided by the standard bag.
Gotcha.
So these were 72%, the rest of the percent were for the seat supply, for the seat bags.
Okay. Gotcha. So you're still planning on delivering to Nissan and Smyrna each one time per day?
That's right.
Okay. Okay. Questions? So I guess just for fun, let's just say that I'm just the one part I'm not quite getting a handle on here. Maybe explain it with the 2 trucks there. But let's say we have a weather delay. How do we overcome a weather delay in this scenario right here, from a responsibility standpoint? Let's say that we have Wyoming, the road shut down for 1 day. How do we overcome that with this new model?
And this should be done by the safety stock. So as we said before, the safety stock should be about 2 truckloads. But maybe in the winter time we should increase the safety stock a little bit. But yeah, this is like we should analyze the situation.
Okay.
We didn't have any numbers, so.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's all the questions I have. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.